Welcome to a Week 18 Giants Hangout brought to you by Crestron, the season finale of our Thursday edition of the Giants Hangout. This is it. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened, friends. I'm Madeline Burke alongside Jonathan Casillas and Brandon London as always. And guys, we're wrapping up the season with the Giants, Eagles, MetLife Stadium. The NFC East is kind of on the line here because the Giants, the Giants are out of it, but the Eagles need a win and a Cowboys loss to the Commanders to clinch the NFC East for the second year in a row. Of course, the Commanders are starting Sam Howell again, so they'll try to keep that one spicy, but we'll see how this one goes. We got last game of the season. It might rain, it might snow at MetLife Stadium, a lot on the line. See, how are you feeling about the finale?
A lot on the line for not the Giants, but
well, in life. A
lot on the line to play spoiler.
I guess to play spoiler is what I meant. Yeah, a lot on the line in terms of spoiler. And also there are several players that, could be playing their last game in a Giants uniform. True. Sterling Shepard has expressed that. Some other players have said.
Sad.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him anywhere else.
Well, I think Shep, if he's calling it, he's calling it a career. And I mean, Brandon, you and I came in here in the broadcast category with this team in the same season that Shep was a rookie. So
yeah, I just remember like being in the locker room with them, and I used to do those Know Your Giant pieces, and like some of like back then, the team was at times the team would be good and all, or they'd be going through something. You know how the players just want to leave that locker room. Jonathan Casillas being one of them players that was like, yeah, I gotta get an interview with Casillas. He already on Route 3. But Shep was always those dudes like, yeah, what do you need? What do you want? The personality always came out. And then, I said it before, I told some people, was when I found out that I was having a baby, I went up to him and told him, because he has his 2 daughters, and he dapped me up, gave me a hug, and was like, get ready to get no sleep and all in that sense. One thing about working in-house with the Giants and having access to the players and Madeline for as long as we did, it's kind of a gift and a curse, because I know we're media and we're supposed to be indifferent when we're talking about guys and all, but we spend a lot of time with these dudes. We spend a lot of times when the beat writers are leaving and they're leaving the locker room, we're still there watching them play ping pong, still there just chopping it up with them, or we're off location somewhere, and it's like, you do a something with Saquon or one of the players that really don't want to talk. So you got to hype it up. You got to get going, and then you just give them the microphone for them to say their 3 words, and everybody's like, oh, you guys totally killed it. So spent a lot of time with these guys, man. And I guess the wide receiver in me and seeing that energy that Shep brings every game, day and out, and the professionalism that he's handled the injuries, and then them drafting his replacement in Wan'Dale Robinson, seeing the way that he's handled things and how he got himself back and ready for this year. It's going to be something that really, really hits, a lot of us in that sense. So I'm glad that he's been the consummate pro. He's been a great guy within that locker room. 3 more catches for him to be 5th all time. To pass Jeremy Shockey is 5th all time.
Great.
Dude, give him two bubble screens and a hitch. Let my man get me all time.
Let him cook.
Yeah, let him do that too, man. And he's one of the only guys like in the entire league that's still the league that I play with.
Yeah.
He's definitely the only Giant. Well, Pugh is too. That was my teammate when I was there, and he came in on fire. I think the first game was against the Cowboys. He had a touchdown in his first career game. We're number 87. And he's always been that consistent guy, and him going down last year turned into the biggest cheerleader in the league.
Right.
And
custom t-shirts made for each individual team.
He was definitely a vital part, even though he didn't play that much because he got hurt pretty early in the season, right? Halfway through, something like that.
Yeah. October.
But he was a vital reason why the Giants had success last year, because the energy he had on the sidelines, and like you said, a consummate pro, really not playing and getting targets like that. Like he once was. Like his rookie year, he came and getting targets right away. And that has slowed down a lot due to injury, back-to-back injuries, serious injuries. And to see him kind of how he's handling himself at the media, with social media, like, in the locker room, like you gotta just tip your hat to him, man. And I hope if he does retire or shut it down, if he's not playing football no more, I hope he comes on this side and come hang out with us on this side.
Well, and I know that
I
I
want
mean, I've
him
talked to
see.
Shep about this too. He does want to get into broadcasting, and he's pretty good at it too. I mean, he came on
He's a character.
a show that we did with Prime
Yeah.
Video. He's he's done a lot of stuff. He'd be great.
Yep. Yep.
You better not want a him see, because him C's locked up for another 2 years.
That's it.
Brandon is trying so hard to make fetch happen. Him see
Giants
make
TV
it
is
fetch
not going to
happen.
draft my replacement, bro. They already did it when they drafted Mario Manningham the next year. Well, it wasn't really my replacement because I ain't really play that. I was on the practice squad the year before. But we're not going through this again, Giants. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it.
I mean, yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there on the field that are looking forward to kind of setting the tone for what to build on for next season. You know, some of these young guys, we're seeing the young wide receivers like Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt kind of getting
Wan'Dale Robinson can play some football.
exactly. And now that he's healthy and really getting some regular reps.
He's a little faster than I thought, because I knew he was always quick twitch, in and out, make somebody miss, and he had that mental like that. Like he plays a lot bigger. He plays bigger than he really is. Like he tries to run through people, and it's like, you're not running through, bro. You're like
gets into it.
But he plays with that physical mentality. And then a couple of plays last week, I'm just sitting there like, oh, he's fast.
Yeah.
I knew he was decently fast. You know how it is, B. Some guys are like Tyreek Hill, right? That's like incredible speed.
Right.
There's some guys that are like long striders, like even like a Jalen Hyatt. Like Jalen Hyatt, he don't look that fast until that ball's in the air going 40 yards, and then all of a sudden he looks like the fastest person on the field.
Well, because he just makes it look so easy, and then you clock the GPS and you're going, you can't even run that fast in a school zone.
He's like 22, 23, but Wan'Dale, he can get to that speed very quickly.
Right.
Like real quick.
Burst.
And now he's at that top speed, and he showcased it last weekend. That's somebody I'm like, okay, I knew they drafted him high last year. I knew it was for a reason. Got hurt pretty early last year. Hurt again coming into this year.
Yeah.
And now you're looking at him now, it's like, okay, like this kid is definitely going to be a vital point moving forward with the Giants for, I think, a pretty long time.
Yeah.
Which is why I would love to see he and Jalen Hyatt get multiple targets this game. You know, a lot of people are talking about, oh, you don't win this game. There's a possibility that the Giants lose. They could get up to 2, depending on who else loses. I believe the Titans, a lot of these teams. But, JC, as a player, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about if I'm, again, Sterling Shepard, 3 more catches, Saquon Barkley, 84 yards to 1,000. Darius Slayton, I got to drive that number up. He's a 15 yards per catch type guy. There's a lot of guys that are playing to kind of build and to go into the offseason with like, all right, the season didn't go the way we wanted personally as a team, but I can at least take little things, take moments away from the season for me that 1, I got better at, 2, I dominated at, and 3, I can go back and look at what I need to work on going into the offseason. So when we're talking about Wan'Dale Robinson, when he came in the league, his receiver coach at Kentucky, Scott Woodward, was my backup quarterback at UMass. His OC, Liam Cohen, was my quarterback at UMass. So when we drafted him, they automatically texted me and was like, you're getting yourself a dog. Like, he plays a lot bigger than what he is. So when we're coming into this game and you got the wounded Eagles, kind of what we were talking about the Eagles 2 weeks ago, and then you get the game where they go down to the wire, it comes down to the last play, phantom call or not, or whatever it was, they played them tough at the link. This is one of those ones where forget saying, oh, we're going to win this game to build on next year. With all these free agents on this team, it's going to be a completely different roster next year. So this is your last time, like they say, Jonathan, this is the last time these 53 guys are going to be together. Last time, because the following day is garbage bag day. You guys are going to say peace out, and then you're headed to Cancun or wherever it is that you're going to go for your vacation. So,
and garbage bag day, of course, for people not familiar, means guys bringing the garbage bags, clean out their lockers, and get out of the facility. And they're like, all right, this is a wrap on this era of the 2023 season.
Yeah, that's
such a hard day.
Yeah, that's a hard day because. Like you understand.
And some guys are going to know at that point, like, okay, this is it. This is final. And some guys are going to be like, all right, am I cleaning this out? And will I be back? Or will my locker be at a different point in the locker room next year? Or
you know what's so funny too? Like, if you're done with that team, like, you don't go back. Like, you just don't go back. They send all your stuff, right, B? They just, They just send all your stuff, your equipment, your hopefully I would send your helmet, your shoulder pads, whatever. They send all your cleats, your deodorant, and you left in the locker room.
All that,
Like that's
all
it.
that,
It's over. You're done.
all that.
You don't even get to clean it out yourself?
It depends. Like
Yeah.
if you're working out, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying, and
yeah.
all of a sudden you go to another team and you were like,
Oh yeah, you're talking about like if you're in a trade or
right,
something like that.
I
Yeah.
didn't know I was gonna
Mhm.
go over here, but like I'm talking about like, players that are still you're on roster until what, March?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people are still on the roster until March. You're still a part of the team.
Right.
And then you could go to another team and you've been working out at the facility the whole time. Like, and then all of a sudden you're on another team. He's like, hey, when am I gonna get my stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
if
send
you're
it
a guy
quick,
like Tommy
next day.
DeVito, if you're DeVito, Jalen Hyatt, those guys, you're gonna keep your stuff there. You're just gonna take, here's some gloves from my little brother, or
Yeah.
my high school football coach.
We talked a lot about the offense, but the defense, gotta give a hat tip to Dexter Lawrence, second consecutive Pro Bowl appearance for Sexy Dexy, the only one. Saquon is a second alternate. Kayvon Thibodeau is a third alternate. But that's also what happens when you're a team that when they are playing on primetime, they've struggled. So I think Pro Bowl is a popularity contest. And if you're not one of the flashiest players when the lights are on, that'll come into play. But Dexter Lawrence, it's hard to miss what he's been doing, a game wrecker in this league. And, the defense, obviously, all season has been a strength for this team. Wink Martindale talked about it this morning, saying, he's been really pleased with what he saw from the defense this season. The takeaways, of course, the point of pride, how the defense responded in hard situations, a point of pride.
Now Dane Belton and Jason Pinnock can go back and forth on who's going to be that starter. He's earned a starting job for the next year, or at least to compete for a starting job.
Dane Belton?
Dane Belton. And then we talk about Cordell Flott, how much better that he got. That other cornerback spot might be up. You don't know what's going to happen with the Dory Jackson. Obviously, Tate Banks had himself a year. Trey Hawkins the third. You got Nick McLeod out there right now as cornerback too, who's been playing. Like, I don't know how he didn't make the Pro Bowl for special teams. I don't know how
Bobby having a good year on teams.
Bobby Okereke didn't make the Pro Bowl either. Which is crazy as well.
Hey, a lot of good middle linebackers though in the NFC though. A lot of good linebackers. You got two in San Fran. You got. I was thinking Baltimore. That's AFC.
That's AFC.
I can't think of nobody else.
A lot of people
you still got the guy in Seattle. Still got him.
Yeah, Bosa.
He Wags.
Yeah, Bobby Wagner.
Wags. I'm thinking middle linebacker.
Oh yeah, middle linebacker. It's not just yeah.
Yeah, but
but still,
I agree with you. You got to keep this defense intact, and then that allows you to be aggressive in free agency when it comes to proven linemen, and then you can draft your future when it comes to possibly running back, quarterback, wherever it is you need, and another pass rusher, another edge rusher for sure.
You can always use pass rushers and always use corners. The way this league is, no matter what your pass rush looks like, you could always use an extra one, and whatever your defensive backfield looks like, you could always use another corner. More corners than safeties, but you could always always need another cover guys. You need cover guys. This league has evolved to a passing league. Commanders, they used to be a running team. Now they're throwing the ball 70% of the time. Dak's going to throw the ball 35 times a game. You got to have healthy pass rushers that can shoot 40 to 50 times a game. And also guys that can cover. You got CeeDee Lamb in the slot. You know what I mean? Like you got to have corners all over the place. So for me, with the Giants, with the draft, I don't really care how they go. I just want them to get an impact player like they got in the two impact players they had in the first two rounds. John Michael Schmitz and Banks. They got two impact players. I mean, Hyatt too. They just didn't target them that much.
Sure, but they, and they got impact players at, late round picks, which I think also shows that for all the people saying, oh, well, you gotta lose this game to get a higher draft pick, whatever. Wherever you pick, if you've got, if you've done your due diligence, there are a lot of talented players, and wherever you pick, if you find the right player, you can find talent later on as well. So,
hey B, have you ever heard of a player, a former player like me and you, say something about a team tanking? You ever heard that before from a player?
I've never heard that before in my life.
Exactly.
Right.
Because
it's always fans. It's always fans. Yeah.
It's like, that's so stupid that they're winning games. What are you talking about?
I don't think there's any player or coach in their right mind that would take a football field thinking, oh, let's go out there and lose this game. Like what chance? What chance? I'm sure you don't even let your daughter win in Jenga.
There's no more like, oh, you did good, baby. No,
No, it's
you
like,
should've
no,
done better.
this is-
Should have did better.
try
Shoulda learned.
harder.
You better learn.
And
We
that-
play
and
to
that-
win the Jenga.
That's it.
And this is two undrafted free agents saying that, knowing that if I'm on that field, like I got on the field with the Miami Dolphins. If I'm gonna get that, if I'm gonna get that rock, if Chad Pennington was gonna call my name for me to catch the ball, 4 catches in a playoff game against the Ravens, I'm gonna come down with that thing. I'm gonna come down with that thing. You know what I mean? So, and then again, if you're Darius Slayton, am I gonna drop this deep ball? Like it's just because we
That's
want
what
to
it
get
comes down to losing games.
Mhm.
You gotta,
like, you know what I'm saying?
You
And
gotta like fumble the ball, like miss tackles. Like, well, I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that. Put that on tape for the
Right.
other 31 teams to see. Not only am I going to get cut here, somebody else not going to want me. So I'm going to do that so you can go get Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah, all right.
Right. And for the
Yeah.
limited fans that's watching this program, right? How does it make sense to like fumble the season away as a player
Mhm.
when you don't play well as a player or as a group, people get fired.
Right. And if you're fumbling the season away as a player, you're doing so to make way for your potential replacement.
Replacement.
To
Yeah.
for somebody to come take your job. Yeah.
Right. Don't make no sense, man.
Mm-mm.
Never. So the Giants are going to try to win this game.
Absolutely.
Number one, because they should. Number two, because they can.
Number two, because they can. And you know what? It's always going to feel good to win against a division opponent. You know, you talk
Be good
about
for Shep.
be good for Shep to finish strong.
How many times he beat the Eagles in his whole career?
Like
Twice?
Twice. Yeah, both at MetLife already. But I mean, you think about the fact that like, you know, you're closing that talent gap, right? You want to win more games in the NFC East. Last year they won 1 and tied 1. This year they've won 2 against Washington. Can they get a third against Philly? Like,
Beat the Cowboys or Eagles.
and even if it is against an Eagles team without XYZ players, it's still a game that you're playing
Who
on a
missing?
football
Who
field.
they missing?
There's
Slay, of course.
conversation. Yeah, Slay, because he's dealing with that knee injury, but there's conversation. Nick Sirianni has floated the idea of potentially resting starters because of the fact that he doesn't believe, or in theory, if he doesn't believe the Commanders will beat the Cowboys, win or lose, the Eagles are going to be that 5 seed in the playoffs. So there's a possibility that some players might get rested.
I think they're going to start them all and then
They're gonna start them all. Yep. Try and get them out by
Monitor
halftime.
Yeah.
They're gonna throw everything at them, and I believe that they're gonna throw some junk in there to get other teams in the playoffs to start trying to prepare for
Right.
some stuff, for some fall stuff in there. So Wink Martindale and that Giants defense is gonna have a tough task because you played them 2 weeks ago, but I see them kind of making adjustments and being able to throw some junk in there for the teams that they're going to be facing in the playoffs. But JC, I think they're going to come out and they're going to try and lower the boom. You hope, because it's raining and the weather's going to be bad, you want Giants fans to come out, because if and when they're playing this team tough and we get down to the end like we did against the Rams, you want that crowd noise the way it was, when defense got to stop. Bobby Okereke came in with that sack on Matthew Stafford that made them punt for the kick return, the punt return for a touchdown. My bad, y'all. My words
also,
been all day.
That's all right. But it's also it's only 2 weeks ago that these two teams played each other.
Yep.
And that one was pretty close too, the way that second half panned out too. And I think that both of these teams are a little bit like, all right, that's fresh. That's very fresh.
And Dallas lost 4 of their last 5. So
no, Philly lost.
Dallas.
Yeah, you said
Philly
Dallas. Sorry, he's
Philly.
still in
I'm
Thailand.
still in Thailand.
Man.
But like the Cardinals beat the brakes off of them. Like it wasn't like
Cardinals were down
But it's
20
also
to 6
Jonathan
at the
Gannon.
half.
It's also
was
Jonathan
close.
Gannon.
Look at the stats.
Jonathan Gannon, though, former Eagles coordinator,
Yeah.
now coaching the Cardinals,
Like,
big,
like physically. They ran for the 200 something yards. Connor had whatever 150.
Mhm.
Michael Carter was running guys over, getting in the end zone. Like
Carter.
they physically beat the Eagles. And that for me was like, the Giants got to see that in feelings. Like, come on, yo.
Yeah.
They're better than the Cardinals. The Giants are. You know, the Giants, they had a good second half against the Cardinals, but the Giants, I feel like the Giants can run the ball if they just be creative about it with anybody, because you have one of the best running backs in the league. You don't have to have one of the best old lines. You just got to be creative.
Yep.
You know, and the best
Be
old line,
creative, be decisive, get
Right.
the ball moving quick.
the best O line will give you, we have a play that you can't stop, and we're going to keep running over and over and over again. The Giants don't have that.
Right.
But what they do, they have a running back that can do stuff like he did last week with that spin move, And I mean, he's a great threat in the receiving throughout the backfield. Like you can do so many different ways. He's better than Connor. You know what I mean? Like Saquon, and I just feel like the Giants, they got to get going against this team. What is it about the Eagles that the Giants can't get over the hump, but everybody else is beating them now? like
It's almost like having the yips too, because you mentioned 4 out of the last 5. What's the one?
right.
It was the Giants game. Yeah.
I'm going.
So it's all right. Yeah. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
it's nap
At
time.
the end of the-
But
at
that's
the
all
end of the
right.
day,
And
it's
that
the
is
last
why
act.
too, the Giants are looking at this and looking at that stretch and saying like, okay, this is an Eagles team that's limping into the postseason. This is our opportunity to get this win. And whether or not,
They have the leg.
you know,
They have
yeah,
the leg.
sweep the leg, whether or not it counts, whether or not it affects the draft stock, if nothing else, winning, you know, as a player, as a coach, as an organization, you want to win games. Going into the offseason with a win, with a positive performance is good momentum. I don't care what anybody says about like, oh yeah, you pick up next season, it's a whole new season. Yes. But going into the offseason feeling like, okay, you know what? Ending it on a high note, ending it on a positive note, putting something on tape that says this team has potential to build off of and go somewhere. And that's good for the future of this team. It's good for potential free agents who are looking at this and saying, you know what? I could come in and be that tipping point for this team. I could help that unit. I see that they are close and I could help them get to the winning column more often. That is a positive thing. I don't care what anybody says about tanking. Winning games is a good thing.
Absolutely, especially against a
Translation.
team you haven't really beaten in a long time.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
know?
Translation, everything you said, Madeline, it translate to what they tell us our first day in the building. You are being evaluated at all times.
At all times. And it's like Michael Jordan always said, there's always someone in the gym who's never seen you play. You know, your first impression on them, you want it to be a good one, right? So as these players, as these teams, as individuals, you were like, all right,
I miss playing football.
this is who I am. You do.
Yeah, this is
Get
one of
out
those
there. They might
games.
need you on
This is one
Sunday.
of those games.
Hit nobody. I ain't saying I want to play. I said I
okay.
miss playing. It's different.
See what
I ain't trying to hit
happened.
nobody.
Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Much like this season on the Giants Hangout, brought to you by Crestron. Any final thoughts or words heading into Week 18, Brandon London?
Nah, not really. It's just I want to thank Pearson. I want to thank Schmelk, the guys, all the behind the scenes people who kind of, you know, listen to us sit here and hang out and then cut it and put it out there. Giants fans for listening, coming up to me during the games, talking about, you know, you and JC going back and forth. And, oh, Madeline with the one-liners and all that. You guys are listening. You guys are watching. We appreciate you all the love. And it didn't go the way we wanted, obviously, but at the end of the day, Big Blue, man, like you guys make him see. There would be no him see without you guys. So appreciate you guys.
I'm sure there would be a him see somewhere. You find a way.
Oh,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No doubt. I agree, bro. Thank you to all the listeners. This is the last show for the Hangout.
This is our last hangout. There will be a Monday edition following Week 18's game, but for our group, for this group, for the Thursday squad, I mean, for the A team.
Dang.
Well, shout out to all the fans that's been tuning
Practice squad again. Dang.
in.
Mario Manningham will be on the next episode.
Yo, if Shep's on the Hangout next year, I'm gonna do like rookie hazing. Hey, go carry my microphone, rookie.
Good luck with that. That's it though, right?
That's a wrap.
That's it.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. It's been a blast hanging out with you guys every Thursday right here on the Giants Hangout, brought to you by Crestron. For Brandon London, for Jonathan Casillas, I'm Madeline Burke. Game day Wednesday. Game day Sunday. Let's go. No, I'm sitting next to you long enough. I don't even know. What day is it? Who knows? It's January. It's 2024. One more game in the books. Let's go. Giants Eagles Sunday afternoon. Hopefully we'll see you out there at MetLife.